Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd. I have had a whirlwind of a day. Drove up in here on two wheels with my hair on fire. And as one of my buddies says, it's been a day. However, I'm grateful, thankful. I hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you didn't eat too much like I did. I got to get on the treadmill for sure. And I want to thank everybody for actually commenting on the interview that I had with my father. So he was over for Thanksgiving, and a couple of days after that, he's got it like that. He can stay over here if he wants to. But we did the interview, and I thought of the questions like midnight the night before, and I got comments in the comment section from the video. I had people call me about that, and when I went to church on Sunday, somebody approached me about it, telling me, that they were grateful to hear some wisdom for the elders. So on Sunday night and Monday morning, I actually did put the website together. I'm sorry, not the website, the YouTube channel together. So there's a YouTube channel out there that's going to feature my dad and his wisdom, and it's called what I called it before, Wisdom from the Elders. So the videos that I have up there right now, number one, the one that we did together, and then I put a couple of videos up there of him working in his shop, his current shop. The shop that he had before was downtown Atlanta. We don't have that one, but I may find some pictures from it. But put the videos up of him working on he was working on a lathe on one of them. And I think he was working on like a welding machine on another. So when the lady at church came up to me after church and was talking about it, we sat there and kind of hashed it out where he would come over here maybe twice a month. And throughout the day or two that he's over here, we would do a series of interviews. Sometimes I'll be in the background, probably most of the time, just asking him the questions so he can answer them. And like before, I didn't have to really edit it. He did put a few curse words out there. You all know I don't use profanity, but on his channel, he can do whatever as long as it's within the guidelines. And then I'll just kind of edit out the beginning or edit out the end or whatever, and I can do that. So I said I committed to do that maybe once or twice a month that he comes over and does a whole bunch of shorter videos, asking a couple of questions about background, and he has a whole lot to say about a whole lot of stuff. So thank you all for participating in the follow up for wisdom from the elders YouTube channel. Now, so today I wanted to talk about AI because there's a lot of chat about it, and it's been a lot of chat about it, and you've seen some things on YouTube and maybe on some commercials about what AI is doing. Some people say that artificial intelligence is going to take away all the human jobs. It's already doing a lot in factories. It's doing a lot in some restaurants in different countries. It's not just here what we're talking about. But is this the worst that can happen when you bring AI into the picture? That's a question. Now I'm trying to stay away from conspiracy theories, and I'm not trying to get Terminator-esque or anything like that. I just want us to see where this is going. Someone sent me a video, and it was 60 minutes. Put a one in the chat if you're familiar with 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is an old time news show. And I think I've talked about it before. It used to come on, I believe, every Sunday night. Everybody used to be anticipating what 60 Minutes was going to say. They had 4 segments of about 13 minutes in between the commercials. And usually the stories were pretty good. And I would say they're still pretty good. They're not I don't watch TV. Somebody sent me this. But when I've watched the videos that people have sent me from 60 Minutes, they still do a pretty good job. So it's like maybe a couple of you all know what that is. So it was a very, very disturbing 60 minute segment. It was, the typical 15-minute, 13-minute segment, but it was disturbing. And before I even get into it, it made me think about a movie that I saw a long time ago. And it was about the diamond market and how real diamonds are mined. And I was disturbed about that movie. Not that I was ever a diamond person. I really couldn't care any less about diamonds and stuff like that. But it was disturbing. And the word that came up then in my mind when I saw that movie was exploitation. So what was the name of that movie? Did anybody remember? It was like one of those movie star people. I don't know if it was the DiCaprio person, but it was something Diamond or something like that. Anyway, it was serious. It was a very, very serious movie, and I'm glad that that part of Diamonds, it was Blood Diamond. Thank you, Ethereal. It was Blood Diamond. It was Blood Diamond. That was a powerful movie in my mind because we don't get to see the background of a whole bunch of stuff. You get to see the commercials where people are going into Jared's and they'll say, "I got it from Jared's," or "He got it from Jared's," or whatever that. And then every time I see something like that, I think about Blood Diamond. So when it comes down to the AI, that 60-minute segment, I'm going to go over that and make some comments about it. And then we're going to talk about AI and how it's going to affect us financially, because, you know, my channel is basically how things are going to affect us financially. You know, what's going on financially that's going to affect our lives, things that we need to know about. So machine learning could let cars, computers, and chat boxes teach themselves. But currently, it's humans that are teaching the AI. And I never really thought about where AI got its knowledge from, but it's people that are sitting down at computers teaching AI. So there's a growing global army of millions of educated people in countries toiling to make AI better, stronger, and faster. They're called humans in the loop. So they have a name for them. They are sorting, labeling, sifting, and they have reams and reams of data to train and improve this AI. They're doing this for companies like Meta, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. And it's considered grunt work for these people. They have to be fast and accurate. So what they have been doing is they've been getting labor from places like Kenya. And so this particular story came out of Nairobi, Kenya. The workers that are doing this work are college educated. So they interviewed some specific ones. One of them had a degree in math and he was doing this work. So these machines are being taught to think like humans and to respond like humans by humans. That was new to me. You all probably knew that. I'm not really into the AI that much. So when they interviewed these several people, first of all, let's say something about the continent of Africa. And I want to say this right, but they have the youngest median age in most of the countries there. So whereas in the United States the median age might be 40 or 50, it's 18. So they have a lot of births, have a lot of young people, and there are millions of them that are out of work because partially because of the corruption of their countries. Money is coming in, but it's not getting to the people. I think that one guy had like 10 diamond rings on and about 12 Rolls Royces, and I could just I can't talk about violence on the YouTube, but it is just crazy the way things happen. So there a lot of them are unemployed. They're educated, but unemployed. So one of the main hubs is Kenya, specifically Nairobi, Kenya, and they're desperate. They're desperate for jobs over there. They have like a 67% unemployment rate. Yeah, that's a lot of people. So here's some of the issues that I found when I looked at when I looked at this segment from 60 Minutes. So they're taken into these jobs and tricked. So they're saying, okay, you're going to get a job in an emerging field, and once they're hired, they're given unreasonable deadlines and very low pay. These people are getting $1.50 to $2 an hour. Now, based on the 60 Minutes interview, the job would be like $30, maybe $30 an hour here in the United States. but they're getting $2 an hour. Let's say the max is $2 an hour. They spend 8 hours a day in front of a screen studying photos and videos. They draw in boxes around objects. So, for example, a living room would come up, and they have to draw a box around table to say this is a living room table or a coffee table. Then they have to draw another box around. This is a chair. So this is how they're teaching AI, and they're doing this all day long. So it it teaches. I guess I don't know a lot about how AI and stuff like that work, but then they come up with some kind of algorithm for all of that. So the workers say these things, and I'm going to quote some of the workers as they talked in this 60 Minutes interview. You label, let's say, furniture in a house, and you say, this is a TV, this is a microwave. So you're teaching the AI to identify these items. And then there's one for faces of people. The color of the face. If it looks like this, it's white. It looks like that, it's black. This is Asian. So this is what they're teaching the AI. You're teaching the AI to automatically identify races. That's something that they do. So human tag cars and pedestrians to teach autonomous vehicles not to hit them. So they have to go through a process of teaching the AI what all kinds of humans look like, and maybe dogs also, so that these cars that supposedly drive by themselves won't hit people. I thought I saw one of those the other day. I kept staring and I didn't see a person. Maybe they were just dark, but I couldn't see a person. That was interesting. So another thing that they do is they circle anomalies, like in the healthcare arena, so they can recognize diseases. So let's say if this person has a medical degree and they can look at a brain and see if there's something in that brain that is a problem, like a tumor, and they circle that. So AI will know when it looks at another x-ray of a human brain. That's how AI knows this is a problem. This is, I mean, it sounds like a cool job. It's maybe a little bit boring or redundant, but I'm pretty sure that $2 an hour is ridiculous. So you find these humans in the loop, not only in Kenya, but in other countries like Philippines, Venezuela, and other countries with large, low wage, high populations that might be well educated but unemployed. So Silicon Valley goes and finds these people. This is what they do. One of the civil rights, they interviewed a civil rights woman that was in Kenya, and she said that the treatment is like modern day slavery. And the person that was interviewing said, whoa, you know, that's really strong, modern day slavery. She said it's cheap exploited labor. Big American tech companies come here and advertise these jobs as tickets to the future, but really it's exploitation. There's no job security, is what they say. The contracts that they see are very short term. And she's seeing people who have contracts monthly, and some of them weekly, and some of them for days. And that's ridiculous. So we're getting into that exploitation thing again, like Black Diamond, Blood Diamond. I'm sorry. She calls the workspace AI sweatshops with computers as opposed to the sewing machines. And that gave me a whole nother vision, because I understand about those sewing machine sweatshops. Can I say that fast 3 times? Sewing machine sweatshops. Okay. Whew, it's late. Okay, because every year millions of young people enter the job market because they have, their population is booming over there. The government has been courting the tech giants like Microsoft, Google, Apple, Intel to come to Kenya, promoting Kenya's reputation as a Silicon Savannah, whatever that means. They're tech savvy and they're digitally connected, and a lot of them speak English. So that's a big plus to these big tech companies. They heavily incentivize these tech companies to come over, and the fact that their labor laws are already weak, that's a big problem right there, makes them want to come and exploit the workers without getting their hands dirty. Let's talk about what I mean by not getting their hands dirty. So they hire a middleman a company, usually a US company, that goes in and actually hires the people. So there's a buffer between the big tech companies and the worker. Then they send them to work for, let's say, the Google or the Meta or whatever. Then they're protecting the Facebooks and the other ones from having their name associated with this exploitation, or so they think they are. So some when you think about this, it's the same thing that's been going on. It's just a different day. Same exploitation, different day. So some of these workers, we're talking about some of the things they were doing. We're talking about the richest companies on earth, is what one of them said. Companies that can afford to pay a living wage, but avarice causes them to pay these workers peanuts. The workers are taking the $2 per hour before tax rather than staying at home. So one of the guys basically said, what am I going to do? I'll go and work for 2 hours. I mean, for $2 an hour, or I'm going to stay home. I got a family to feed. And that's what he said. And I felt so bad about that. So get this, documents obtained by 60 Minutes said that OpenAI agreed to pay Sama. SAMA is one of those middleman US companies that comes in and hires the workers so that there'll be a buffer between them and the giant tech companies. So Sama was hired by OpenAI to outsource. Guess what? For $12.50 an hour per worker. So Sama is pulling in $12.50 per hour per worker and giving the workers $1.50 an hour or $2 an hour. So that's a $10.50 increase in what they're getting, or $10 increase in what they're getting. They justify this by saying that, oh, the regular wages in that area are $2 an hour, let's say, but those people aren't doing that. You're talking about college educated people. So again, there's that exploitation. And I ask this question a lot of times, and I've asked it concerning the income tax. If stealing 100% of the product of someone's labor is slavery, at what percentage is it not slavery? This has nothing to do with color. It has something to do with people exploiting other people. And that's what's going on right here. You got college educated young men, young women. I think they interviewed, 2 girls and 2 guys, and they have no choice. They don't feel like they have a choice. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, whether they really have a choice or not, but we'll see. And not only do the jobs not pay well, but they're also draining. They say deadlines are unrealistic, punitive, with others having just seconds to complete complicated labeling tasks. And if you complain, you're fired. There are 15 people waiting outside to take your job. So if workers did finish, listen to this. This is really irritating. When the workers do finish on time or ahead of time. So let's say you had a deadline of 3 days to do a job and you finished it in 2 days. What was the reward? Did they pay them for the 3 days that they contracted for? No. They give them some chicken and Coca-Cola. I am not kidding, guys. That's what they said they get. When they finish a task ahead of time, they get chicken and Coca-Cola. And that makes my blood boil. I'm going to go to the chat and see what you have in there. Hi, everybody. Did you hear about AI Jesus in Switzerland? People are I'm sorry. People are confessing to an AI Jesus now. I got to look that one up. I got to look it up. Let me write it down. Okay, some people are confessing to an AI Jesus. Okay, that's a real new one on me, but I will definitely look that up. We might do a story on it. We'll see. Let's see what it says. Crypto Yo. Would you doubt AI robot is already walking among us? I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen some of them that have faces and they have been trained to answer questions that are not just, rote questions. So it seems like they can think a little bit for themselves, which again, that little bit of Terminator-esque is coming out. So, okay, let's see. All right, NJ is in the house. Okay. Yeah, all of this is insane. It's really insane. I'm going to go back over and see where I left off with this. So, oh yeah, about it not it's a draining job, and they can't complain, and if they finish they get chicken and coke. That kind of made me mad, actually, because it's like that stereotype about black people liking fried chicken and coke and watermelon and all that kind of stuff. It's anyway. So listen to this part. Worse yet, workers told 60 Minutes that some of the projects for Meta and OpenAI were grim and caused them harm. And when I say harm, I mean mental harm. One young man assigned to train AI to recognize the and weed out the P word, ORN. And he was trained to recognize hate speech, excessive violence, which meant sifting through the worst of the worst content online for hours on end. Now, this is what he said. I looked at people being um, unalived, people engaged in bestiality, people harming children in unspeakable ways. And of course, I'm changing the words on this thing. He looked at drone attacks and people self deleting themselves, basically 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Now, tell me who that wouldn't harm mentally. I know I wouldn't do it. But you're thinking about someone that feels like they have no other choice. This young man says he is forever scarred in many ways that I can't describe here. Of course, he has PTSD, and he says now, and this is really sad, he finds it easier to cry than to speak. So these big tech companies are going over there and they want their AI to be better, stronger, faster, and they're using these people and mentally and physically draining them and causing them mental harm. The workers told 60 Minutes that they were tricked into this work by ads that describe these jobs as call center agents to assist our client community, and help resolve inquiries empathetically. Some were told that they were going to be language translators. Sama, which is that middleman company, says mental health counseling was provided by, quote, fully licensed professionals, but the workers say it was woefully inadequate. Many workers are suing Sama and another company over unreasonable working conditions that caused psychiatric issues. It was proven by a psychiatrist. So somebody brought in a real psychiatrist and they studied those people, and they do have they're really sick. They're really messed up. Sama, which is that middleman company, which has terminated these projects, would not agree to get on camera with 60 Minutes. Meta and OpenAI told 60 Minutes that they're going to commit to safe working conditions, including fair wages and access to mental health counseling. Yeah. So you knew about this ahead of time, but now that it's exposed, you say you're going to help these people. Another American AI training company facing criticism in Kenya is Scale AI, which operates a website called Remote Task. Sometimes the company just didn't pay these people. That's what they said. When it gets to the day before their paycheck, they close the online account where the workers signed up. So the workers don't get paid because the website will say something like you violated a policy. This is outright theft. I don't know how these people sleep at night. You have no recourse. You have no way to even complain. In March of this year, some of the workers started complaining publicly, and that company, Remote Access, abruptly shut down in Kenya altogether and moved to another country. So there's no labor laws there, and the people just didn't get paid. So finally, here is what one of the workers said, and this is the last part of what I want to say about the blood diamond type exploitation. It's terrible to see just how many American companies are just doing wrong here. And it's something that they wouldn't do at home. So why would they do it here? Well, a lot of countries, and not just in Africa, but a lot of countries have been exploited like that for years. And they put puppet leaders in place so that these people don't get the kind of leadership that they need. And the countries that I've visited, a lot of them, the people aren't taught entrepreneurship like we are. So these people are thinking about jobs, 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 but a lot of them aren't thinking about, hey, let me get together with a couple of these other people that have graduated college, and somehow we pool our little resources and start a business. I found out that one of the little students that I used to have when I used to teach children's church was on campus. I'm not going to say what campus, making a whole bunch of money because he and his roommate got together and started is it a bubble tea? Bubble tea. And it's something that I don't understand. But they started having some people make bubble tea and give it to them, and they would sell this bubble tea, and they were making a load of money. And those are kind of ideas that may work better here because nobody over there is more than likely going to buy bubble tea. But I'm just kind of curious about why most of them don't. They're depending on jobs, 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 and somebody else to create a job for them, and they don't think about making a job, which is building a company so that they can get income and then employ others. So I'm gonna look in the chat right quick and see if there's anything else there. This is why we need to start our own businesses and stop participating in the bovine excrement. Yes, that is true. So my channel is mostly about teaching people how to keep, protect, and grow what they earn. And a large part of that is starting home-based businesses. We have to be careful about, we have to understand what AI is and what it's doing. That's the front side, or rather, let's call it the behind the scenes side of AI. This is where AI gets its smarts from. All of the exploitation of these people in these other countries that are considered third world countries. But what's happening when it comes over here? What is AI doing? I'm not against AI. Some people use it all the time. I've used it recently. I don't know how often I'm going to use it because I kind of feel some kind of way about it, especially now since it, the information that it's giving me, I don't even know if I can look at it again the same way I looked at it when I asked the thing questions. And thinking about, that young man and the other people that were on there, them being exploited like the blood diamond. But anyway, that's another story. So Jeremy, what is the article you're reading? What place, country is it happening in? So Jeremy, this was Nairobi, Kenya, and it was a YouTube video of 60 minutes. 60 minutes is a news station. And let me see if I can give you the title because I think I might have taken a picture of it. Okay, so it says training AI training AI takes heavy toll on Kenyans working for $2 an hour. This came out maybe 9 days ago. I think I looked at it yesterday. So it's 8 or 9 days ago, and it's from the television news show called 60 Minutes. Training AI takes heavy toll on Kenyans. That's it. So let me go back to us. Okay. So that I answered Jeremy's question. AMP 8369. My company has a project to train AI. Purpose to benefit the company's process, so-called internal use. Okay. When people are here in the States training AI, I don't think they go through the same thing because I don't think they are going to tolerate having to sit and listen and look at the things that these people were looking at. Okay. Mr. Perry, yeah, this is making my anger rise. Yeah. And as I stated, I have to refocus my anger, because anger is usually a negative energy, and I don't like negative energy because it wastes time. So I have to refocus that. When I think about stuff like this and I think about what I'm about to tell you guys, then that makes me kind of focus on how we overcome these situations that are creeping up on us, because AI is creeping up, and it'll be affecting more so the middle class. It'll be affecting more so the middle management. So it says AI was invented by humans. Yeah, that's true. But the algorithms and the things that are, when you ask a question of AI, like I've seen some robots that are just about at the point where they're answering questions in a way that is beyond what they were taught. So it's very interesting. Oh yeah, I watched that 60 Minutes episode on YouTube the other day. Awful people doing business in Kenya. And it's not, like I said, it's not just Kenya. They're in other countries doing this. All these different countries that have really, really high populations, and they don't have a lot of money coming in, or the money that's coming into the country is getting siphoned off by the leaders. Then these people are left with some decisions that they need to make. And I've not visited most of these countries. I've been to Africa, I've not been to Kenya. So I don't know, I can't speak for why they're not starting their own businesses. Maybe somebody on here has been to a country, but if there's something, well, maybe there's some of them, because when I was in South Africa, there were a lot of people that were out on the streets selling things, like in Joburg, and I went to Soweto and some other. They were out there doing their thing, but I don't know. College educated ones, they may be able to come up with some kind of an app. I don't know, but it seems like they're not really as focused on having a home based business as we are. So let's say Estella, Elon Musk is selling the robot for $20,000. He expects to sell 20 million robots by 2030, and states that the people will depend on universal income. These robots are to serve as maids, teachers, and tutors. Put a one in the chat if you've seen some movies like this before. And if you saw some movies like this where the robots come in and take over. I've seen some movies like that where robots came in, and the guy realized that the robots were getting too smart, and he shut them down, and one of them started repairing them and all kind of stuff like that. And that's what I was talking about, not really getting into that, because that's kind of like Terminator-esque stuff. Not saying that it won't happen. Thanks for writing How to Stick It to the IRS. I just got your book. Yeah, we need to make sure that we can starve the beast. I've been using AI to help build bullet points for my resume, interview questions, and I think that's a good use of it, Jeremy. They're good uses of it, because it'll help. It might help writer's block and things like that. She was reviewing a 60-minute segment. Okay, yeah, the country is Kenya. So yeah, you've seen those movies where robots are a little bit more than just faceless pieces of machinery that are moving around. Okay, Tales from the Hood 3. I haven't seen that one. Maybe that's out on YouTube, or maybe it's just somewhere out on the internet. The mindset is some developed African countries is changing due to Western influence and social media. So I'm Yolanda, I'm hoping you're saying it's changing to the positive, where they're actually starting to think about businesses instead of jobs. Okay, you just found it. What's the name of the book? I'm not sure what book, okay, that we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here, and we're going to talk about how AI is affecting us in the United States. So it's going to first affect jobs. And here are some of the jobs that I found that AI has already kind of infiltrated. Customer service, of course. When you go online and you want to talk to a human being, and you get this bot over in the corner, and you say, okay, I'll go ahead and ask the question, and the answer that you get has nothing to do with what you're looking for, that's very frustrating. So AI powered chatbots and virtual assistants are increasingly handling customer inquiries and requests, reducing the need for human customer service. It's not reducing the need for human customer service, it's just replacing customer service. 9 out of 10 times when I need something answered and an AI bot comes up, it's not giving me what I need. And I want to shout out to GoDaddy because GoDaddy has humans and they have them all night. I've been stuck somewhere and their human chat is there for me to help me. I've had some problems twice before and was able to get somebody, and I really appreciate that because the bots just come up with other stuff that has nothing to do with anything. Another one is warehouse workers. Automation and robots are taking over tasks such as inventory management, packaging, and shipping, making human warehouse workers less necessary. Another one is programmers and software developers. Now, this is one that I was a little shocked about because a lot of people are majoring in this in college. So it says AI powered tools like Chat GPT and I think it's GitHub are assisting in code writing. Okay, so they're writing code now and they're debugging and by deployments, potentially reducing the need for human programmers. That's interesting. Paralegals and legal assistants. Now, that's something that's another shocker for me. Like, I didn't look at this before, I just wanted to be surprised by it. So, a lot of people go take the paralegals course and because they want to be a they want to aspire maybe to be a lawyer, but I wasn't aware that AI powered legal research tools are automating tasks such as document review, contract analysis, and legal brief writing. Wow, legal brief writing, making human paralegals and assistants less necessary. So if I want to review a contract, I wonder how that would work with AI. I want to know because I review contracts on a regular basis. Okay, marketing and advertising professionals are in trouble. AI powered tools are generating content, optimizing ad campaigns, and analyzing market trends, potentially reducing the need for human marketers and advertisers. So, people that are out there making money, helping people grow their social media, if these people that have these social media have the wherewithal to go in and use AI to figure out their marketing and advertising, then maybe they don't need to pay somebody to do that. I'm not one of those people. I'm staying in my wheelhouse. Data entry clerks, automation and AI powered tools are taking over tasks such as data entry, bookkeeping. Y'all hear that? Automation is taking over bookkeeping and accounting, making human data entry clerks less necessary. Now, data entry is different from bookkeeping and accounting. So I'm wondering, are they actually going in and how they're taking over bookkeeping and accounting? I can see them with the data entry. The next one is telemarketing and telesales agents. AI powered phone systems are handling inbound and outbound calls, automating sales and marketing efforts, and reducing the need for human telemarketing and telesales agents. Wow. Additionally, the search results suggest that AI will continue to impact various industries and jobs, including healthcare. Healthcare, AI powered diagnostic tools and assistants will augment the work of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. So I've seen those like kind of robotic arms going in and doing surgery in maybe like laparoscopic surgery. Education, AI powered adaptive learning systems and virtual teaching assistants will change the role of human teachers. Finance, AI powered trading platforms and risk analysis tools will automate tasks and reduce the need for human financial analysts and traders. Wow. So these are some professions that people have at jobs that they work, and they also have these kinds of businesses. So be aware. Think about what you do for a profession on your job and or in your business, and maybe you want to go out and see where AI is in the mix in your wheelhouse. I'm going to go back to the chat. Living a la bad lifestyle. Patrick Devine said our IRS documents are scanned in, that most times humans aren't looking at or processing our forms. May I ask, what is your take on that? So I agree to a certain extent. They do have these programs. They scan in the W-2s and 1099s and all of that, and they create what's called a transcript. So they have the tax transcript and they have the wage and income transcript. So the wage and income transcript, let's say, has all this accumulated information about what W-2s you have and what 1099s you have. And I know that the AI does that. I had a client out of California that the IRS was saying she owed a little bit more money. It wasn't a big number, but she was, frantic about it. So we ended up ordering her transcript, and they had her W-2 on the transcript twice. So once they took it off, she didn't owe any money. So I do believe that they're doing that. I don't like the fact that they have outside agencies that they've been hiring to help with their collections, because that's more and more people with access to your slave surveillance number, your social security number. I don't like that. Okay, let's see. Amazon in Illinois has 5 robots unloading semi trucks 24/7. I really want to see that, Estella. I do. I'm writing these things down. Okay. Amazon robots, and it's in Illinois. I hope they have some video of it. Mr. Perry, software developer. AI is good for basic coding. However, complex code is a bit of a struggle. Okay. So right now, you say as of today, that's right. So right now, if AI is struggling with complex code, how long is it going to take them before they can not only pick up that complex code, but surpass the speed of what a human could do with the complex code? It's a question. Sarah Bella, the AI is also the bots that post comments. Yeah, I know. I noticed that in some people's comment box, there there have been bots that are put in there to act like it's them, and it's not the person. It's not the person that has the like the YouTube channel. There's a comment down there, and it's like the person is asking the audience to do stuff, but it's not really the person. That was going around for a while. It was going out to the subscriber saying, "Hey, can you donate to such and such?" They just do awful stuff, but that's awful people a lot of times. So let's see. Micah, could we be giving AI the knowledge it needs by asking questions and uploading so much information? I 100% think we are. Micah Baker, I think we are. I think when we ask questions and put answers in there, it actually, from our personal profiles, it lets Meta and all those know what we're thinking and what we're doing. If you haven't already done this, please go out there, and I think it's on Netflix, but it might be available elsewhere. I would even ask that you pay to look at it if you have to pay. It's called The Social Dilemma. For those of you that have not seen The Social Dilemma, that's a documentary, and the people that are talking in the documentary used to work for Facebook and YouTube and all these other social media companies. And it really, really opened up my eyes to how this whole social media thing works. In a nutshell, when you look at it, you'll realize that based on what you watch on YouTube and Facebook and all of these, and based on what you pull up, it's gonna make a profile about you, and it's gonna feed you what it wants to feed you. And I learned this during the 2020, 2021, when I was looking at certain things. And I was, of course, I was against the arm charm, and a lot of people around me wanted to do the arm charm, and we were kind of at all odds. When I would look up statistics and information about the I don't even want to call it a virus, whatever, they wouldn't see the same thing. When I listened to and when I saw this documentary called The Social Dilemma, I realized why I was seeing some totally different things than they were seeing. So please go out and watch that so you can understand. When I understand how I'm being manipulated by government or by whoever, then I make a 180-degree turn. So that's been done. You're quite welcome. Yes, we are training AI with our constant interaction with it, basically helping our own demise. Yeah. There's been several occasions where I've witnessed the comment posting back and forth discussions between people on a YouTube channel turned out to be bots. I agree. You just have to be really careful. And I've gone into my comment section to answer you guys, and there's been comments in there, and then a whole set of people having a discussion about some kind of a trading platform or something. So I just had to delete them all. They went in there specifically to say, hey, I've made a lot of money with such and such, and have the other people coming in and talking about how did you make the money and what's the website. I just have to delete those. But people do what they do. Let's see what's next. Okay. Mr. Perry says that the data collection has been going on for over a decade. Think about the old telephone prompts when you call a toll-free number. Wow. Yeah. Okay. May I ask the best way to use the EIN number that starts with 98, the one obtained without the slave surveillance number? Ah, you know about that. So how do I say this? And it's going to be brief because that's something that's deep, and I get into it with clients that are on that level. Is that you use it as little as possible, and you make it clear that it has nothing to do with taxation. You make that clear. You write your statement making sure that it has nothing to do with taxation, and then you use it the way it's supposed to be used when you're not dealing with taxation. I have to say it like that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, also known as the Foreign Grantor Trust, I'm using AI to help answer IRS questions when the agents give me vague ones. I tried to ask some questions. Well, I was with someone else, and we were on a call together and trying to ask the AI questions, and it blew us off because we were asking questions concerning, the tax and all that, and it just blew us off. I don't know if it would respond differently, and that was about a year and a half ago. I'm definitely against the arm charm coming from a medical background. A lot of us are. A lot of us didn't. We didn't take the arm charm, and um, a whole bunch of stuff is coming out now about it. And those that did take it, that were in my family, I got them some things that will help bind and extract heavy metals. Okay, that's so weird. You really have to be aware of these bots. You do. You do. Just pay attention to the number of likes. They're normally high in a short time. That's how I know it's bots. And I guess I don't know what the purpose would be. The person who has the channel would like the likes to be high. I don't know why anybody else would do that. I'm not the technical person. Somebody is supposed to be teaching me how to put I literally have an intro video and I have an exit video for this channel, and I just need to realize how to make them work. So there was a time. I'm not trying to share screen. There was a time that I was able to show you guys something, and I forgot how I did it, but I need some instructions. So I've got my cousin kind of helping me so that like right at 8 o'clock, my little 1 minute intro comes in, and then after it's over, my little 1 minute exit video comes in. I want to start getting better at this. My life is super busy, but I want to take time to continue to improve the channel. I hope you all like the video that I put out on Doge and how Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are starting to expose a whole bunch of government waste. And I'm curious what you all think about if this starts coming out on a regular, because I've been watching it for years. It used to be Ron Paul, and then it was Rand Paul, and before that it was the Grace Commission, Peter Grace, and people have been talking about it. But both these figures are very, very public, especially Elon Musk. And he's in charge of X. So just about every other day on X, they're talking about all this government waste. And I'm wondering what kind of effect it's going to have on people to be able to see and know on a regular basis that the money that they've worked hard for and that the government has taken from them has been squandered like that. And those aren't the words that are in my mind right now, but those are the words those are the words that I have to use right now. And another thing before we go is, how many of you saw that Joe Biden pardoned his son, his offspring? He gave him a full and unconditional pardon. So he does all that dirt and he gets pardoned by his daddy. And yeah, so that's the way the world goes, you all. And what we have to do, instead of just getting mad and pouting about it, is plan our put your plan B together. We are going to thrive. This tribe right here, we're going to thrive in 2025. We're going to, I'm expecting you guys that put your businesses down in the comment section before. And those of you that weren't here before, put the business down in the comment section. I'll make some comments about it. We want to start these businesses. We want to get them up and running. If you already have one, we want to start scaling these businesses, and we're going to thrive. We are not going to let this system beat us down. I was in prison for 3 years on a 4-year sentence on a misdemeanor charge. And it's different when you did something. And this is what the girls tell me, they were living a life, in prison because they knew that they were wrong. They knew that they did something to deserve to be there. So the people that didn't do anything to deserve to be there had a whole different attitude than the people that knew they were in trouble and they should have been there. And it's so hard to be in a place away from your family and all of that, and you're not supposed to be there. I used to have dreams about me going out of there people saying, no, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. But you know what? I didn't let that break me. I came out and I said, I'm going to be better than I was when I went in, or I'm going to at least be the same. And I tell people that I took time on the weekends when all of the officers and all those people weren't around, and I planned out what I was going to do. And there were 4 ladies in the same situation where we would get together and plan what we were going to do. We weren't going to sit and pout or cry or, just give up on life. That's my dad telling me, keep getting up. And he's the one that told me, go in there when they were about to take me away. He said, go in there and make it a university. So I said, okay, I'm going to learn some things. I'm going to set up some things. This is where we are right now because they're trying to put us down. The Biden administration is getting ready to send another, what is it, $725 million over to Ukraine. Before the administrations change hands, they're just piling money over there that, we need for our families, we need for our veterans, we need for our homeless, we need all of these things. And then Vivek and Elon Musk are telling us all of these things where they spent all this money, over $4 million on lobster and all this stuff like that. Yeah, that is enough to make your blood boil. But refocus that energy on something that you are going to do. In other words, let's say for the sake of argument, you're one that comes home from work and watches a lot of TV. Don't watch TV. I don't have time to watch anything that's not enhancing my family. So I pay attention to finances, I pay attention to my Bible, and I pay attention to you all because that's moving us up. I don't know. I don't even know. I could not tell you what television shows are on television these days. I have no clue. That little box up there in my family room called the TV, it comes on when I want to watch a Netflix documentary or just some kind of small bit of entertainment. I don't watch TV. I know when my girls came home from school a couple of summers ago, they were watching some series, and it was about England and some wealthy people in England back in the 1800s. I think it started with a W, and they were all into it. And I'm like, y'all get ready. So let me check the chat again. Thank you about saying that you like the video. Yes, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna keep at it. I said I was gonna do Tuesdays and Fridays. And if at all possible, if I'm in town or something's not going on, I'm doing Tuesday and Friday. Even though I wanted to do a lot more today, I had a lot going on during the day, but I'm here. Really look forward to Elon and Vivek getting rid of the government waste. I really would like that to happen. We'll see how effective they are. They've already been, somebody already said, oh, they're an outside organization. Yes, they are. No, they're not a part of Congress. No, yes, it is Congress that makes these decisions. But if Congress doesn't start making these decisions now that people know this is going on, then these Congress people aren't going to be able to make a lifetime career of being in Congress. Let's say that, or they shouldn't be. Yes, I saw that. Immediately thought of you and how you did not complain about the way you were treated. I complained a little bit in there, but for the most part, I had a strategy. I wanted to come out of there and make sure that nobody was going to be able to put me down. Now, some people do, and this is very very interesting. When I'm doing business, guys, I have to let people know my background. I don't want anybody. I don't want to get into business or a business relationship or a contract or anything with anybody, and they later on find out, oh, this lady was in prison. You tricked me. I don't want that. So when there's a business opportunity that comes up, one of the topics of discussions is my past and how, I fought against the IRS and, I spent time in prison. I have to let people know that because either they're going to say, okay, that's cool, which a lot of people say, or some people say, they just disappear. It's like, okay, they might be afraid to associate with somebody who has been in prison. They might be afraid to associate with somebody who has tangled with the insidious representatives of Satan. I don't know which one, but if they don't want to deal with me, that's fine. We are not going to let us get it down. Look what I used to say, that what is it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, although I don't like him as a person, you will not break me. Let's say I'm sorry for what they did. Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I would have never known a lot of things. I would have never known about the prison industrial complex. I would have never known that there are people that actually live like those women were living. Some of them. There was some things that I heard that I'd never heard of before. Some things I never want to hear again. A lot of jaw dropping stuff. But the environment that I was in was so different than the Christian bubble that I was in, for the last several years of my life, like 20 years of my life. I needed that bubble needed to be popped so I could see, what's really going on with everyday people. Not that I was up on an ivory tower or anything, but I just was living a different kind of life. Now I know people's struggles and things like that. Your father is amazing. I cannot wait for his YouTube channel. Yeah, it's called Wisdom from the Elders. I set it up Sunday and Monday. And as soon as I can get him back over here, we'll record some more videos. And since you can't put pictures up there, I won't put pictures up there, but I'll see if I can find any more videos like in my phone. I think I might have a couple of more videos. And then he was at a conference and he spoke. So I'm going to just try to add some stuff, and maybe in the next week, while we're in the holiday season, he'll come over here more because I can't go over to his house and do it because he doesn't have the equipment, but he'll come over here and I'll do some more videos. Let's see. Trump can do the same thing as Biden since the POTUS now has king's rights to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I tell everybody, our life should not depend on whoever's sitting up in the Oval Office because they don't run the country anyway. The banksters and the insurance companies and those the military industrial complex people, Vanguard and BlackRock and all those, just pay attention. Pay attention. Let's see. We sure will thrive. Yes, I've created a few businesses and now working on protecting my assets and currency. Okay. You know, it is a lot of work to try to protect what you have, but we have to do it. We can't be lazy. Convenience kills. Thank you so much. This motivated me, especially now for me to dealing with my okay. Okay. I'm glad that it motivated you. Helene survivors. That's another thing that made me terribly upset, Micah. I found out that some of them are still living in tents. Oh my goodness. I found out that the government's not really helping them, that and people are starting to be able to come in and help them, but the people, there's just so much that needs to be done. It's crazy. The things that I've seen this week, even Dr. Berg, some of you I've talked to maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I asked you, did you know who Dr. Berg was? Even Dr. Berg stopped what he was doing to do a video to make sure that everybody knows what's going on up there with the people that got hit by Helene. Yes. What is it? Retta J. It was Bridgerton. That's that's what they were watching, and I was just shaking my head. What are you guys doing? It's like they really know how to entertain you these days. They really know how to bring you in. Because I did watch one of them, and it was very interesting. But I can't get myself hooked up in that stuff like that. Because as many hours as I would sit there watching the Bridgertons, I could be trying to create a whole nother class or some kind of way to help other people's businesses grow. I don't have TV in my bedroom. Right. I never did either. That was something that, you just don't do. Statistically speaking, the people who do, end up being less productive. But again, I remember your great interview with Truth to Power. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a while ago. Speaking of the Christian bubble, the bubble is bursting from the top leaders all the way to the not so famous among them. Well, my Bible says that judgment will come first in the house of the Lord. That's all I got to say about that. And again, you have to make sure that you understand. You can't be listening to somebody else and what they say. If they're saying something different than what the Bible says, then you need to find somewhere else to go. It's not about somebody's popularity. That's a whole nother story. Thank you for your time that you give freely. Much appreciated. I try. I mean, this is something that I guess I was raised in a way that first of all, I dislike injustice. And second of all, if there's something that's helping me, I've always shared it with other people. Sometimes I found out they already knew and hadn't shared it with me. That kind of took me aback. But I'm going to share with you what I can find out. And again, I have classes, I have consulting if you all want to talk. I have that class coming up on the 14th where I'm supposed to be intently helping people to get ready for their business in 2024. I don't know if any of you have registered for it, but I'm going to be really deep on the 14th. That's going to be like from 10 to 12. That's a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 to 12. And we're going to go in trying to make sure that you get the business set up. If you have it set up, any questions that you have, we're going to go for it. So it is 9:04 and I need to go and take the trash out. It's about 30 some odd degrees. And you all know I'm really dreading going outside, but I'll put on my coat and everything. Let's see. The temperature is 32. So it is literally freezing. And I have to take the trash out. And I will, as soon as I know the topic for Friday, I'll put it in the community area. And then I'll also put it in my mailing list so you'll get an email. But everybody have a great night, and I will prayerfully talk to you on Friday evening at 8 o'clock. See you soon.